Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Sam. Welcome to my channel, Migrant on Fire. Now, before you think that I have it all figured out when it comes to my finances and being an absolute freaking rock star when it comes to being financially independent, I do not. That's right, you heard it right. I have not figured it all out. In fact, if you're like me, where you've sat in wherever you are watching countless amount of YouTube videos on people claiming how much they have made it when it comes to being financially independent, either by way of investing or starting a YouTube channel or having some form of passive income because they got a side hustle, such as starting an e-commerce website or affiliate marketing or drop shipping or any of that lot. I am one of those guys. I've sat in the same couch for way too long watching all these videos, watching all of them make it and talking about their success stories. And I said to myself, you know what? If they can do it, I want to give it a good crack for myself. I don't know if I'm going to make it if I was really brutally honest with myself, but I want to give it a bloody good try. So if you want to watch this migrant embark upon this journey and failing his way through FIRE, then please like this channel, subscribe to this channel, and I would really appreciate it because it not only helps me, it helps fellow migrants who are watching this discover this channel as well. And why am I starting this video? Well, as I've mentioned at the start of this video, I haven't got it all figured out. In fact, unfortunately, I've been dealt with the very bad news as of last week that my employers, I can't even speak properly because it's still pretty raw. But as I've mentioned, I've been dealt with the unfortunate news last week where they said, Sam, unfortunately, we have to let you go because we are making you redundant. But that's all right. As the title of this channel goes, Sam on Fire, I'm on a mission towards financial independence, retiring early, just like the rest of you lot who are watching this video. And as part of the FIRE community, if anything, this entire episode or this entire week will be a catalyst. And I hope it will be a strong enough reason to say there is absolutely no way I can rely on a single source of income, and diversification is absolutely key. So this is me on my channel documenting my journey towards FIRE. And I hope if you guys are watching this, you can learn from my mistakes. Again, as I've pre-qualified and I've mentioned at the start of the video, I'm by no means an expert. I've just stumbled upon the FIRE community for the longest time. I've always relied on a single source of income. And after watching countless of these YouTube videos on how people have made it, either by way of investing through the stock market, dollar cost averaging through ETFs, and little side hustles, buying stuff, flipping stuff on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, on Gumtree, which is the equivalent of Craigslist in the US. I'm here to give it a good crack, and stay tuned. And hopefully you guys can learn a thing or two from my mistakes. So I'm made redundant. What now? I've laid out a 3-part plan which is broken down into short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Now, this is not a foolproof plan. In fact, it is not a plan that I've taken anywhere online. It is a plan that I've visualized in my head. And I said, I think this seems to be the most logical plan. So what am I doing in the short term? So first step, I'm gonna be back in the job market. I'm jumping onto LinkedIn, and I'm going to be searching for all the relevant jobs that I could possibly do. If any of you are wondering, I've actually been in the advertising technology space for the last 9 years. So that's the job I'm going to be searching for. So that's step number one of short term. Step number two, part of the short term is I'm actually going to be thinking of cutting back a lot of the expenditure that I would potentially have every single month while having a job. Now, as you can tell, what I'm trying to achieve in the short term is to really reduce the burden on my savings. So I'm going to be cutting back on a lot of expenditure that I normally would incur while gainfully employed, while in a full-time employment. A lot of those expenditure is not going to be really necessary. Now, what kind of expenditure is that? It's going to be things like phone bills. I'm not going to be making a whole lot of phone calls as I would as a full-time employee. So I'm going to be thinking about cutting back on my phone expenditure and also looking at all of the bills that I would normally pay month to month. So think of your electricity bills, think of your internet bills. All of these can add up over time. I'm going to be creating a separate video on this, but for now, let's keep it simple. In phase one, or in the short term, I'm going to be cutting back on the expenditures that I would normally incur as a full-time employee. And two, I'm also going to be looking at getting a full-time job. And while applying for a full-time job, between that period, I'm also going to be putting my services out there in the freelancing world within platforms such as Upwork or Fiverr, and ensuring that between now and the period of time, or the point in time where I actually become a full-time employee, hopefully I would be able to cover some of the costs that I would incur and cover that with part-time income or freelancing income. So hopefully now that I've managed to take away a lot of the initial stress of my finances, I'm going to be thinking about what to be doing in the midterm. So assuming I've ticked all of those boxes I said I'm going to be ticked, I'm going to be looking at my midterm strategy. So what is my midterm strategy? My midterm strategy is to continue this YouTube channel. So if you're a migrant like me and you want to follow my journey and learn from my mistakes, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Or if you simply want to support the underdog and say, hey, this guy's actually gonna try what all these YouTubers are doing, and you want to support me, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel as well. Now, anyway, back to step number two, or what am I going to be doing in the midterm? So I'm going to be continuing this YouTube channel, so all that support really matters. Two, I'm going to be starting an e-commerce platform. Actually, not an e-commerce platform. I'm going to be starting an e-commerce store, because that's something I've always wanted to do for a while. I just never got around to doing it. So what product am I going to be selling specifically? That's going to be covered in the later channel. But if you want a little sneak peek, I'm thinking of food. So that's right, I'm passionate about food. If you're passionate about food, tell me what your favorite food is in the comments below. Let's see if we've got any common mutual taste buds. And the third thing I'm going to be doing is obviously leveraging this channel for affiliate marketing. I'm going to be trying and seeing for myself firsthand, can affiliate marketing cover the bills? Can affiliate marketing be some form of supplementary income? I do not know. A lot of people have said it can be done. So I'm going to see for myself. If you want to watch my journey on how I talk about setting up affiliate marketing links, or how I'm going to be going through the process of being an affiliate marketing partner and learn all the mistakes I've done, stay tuned, because I'm going to be covering those as well. And lastly, in the long term, no surprises there. It's going to be all about investments for me. What type of investments I'm going to be making? Well, again, no surprises. I'm going to be taking a long-term approach. So I think the best long-term approach, and this is not my recommendation, this is after watching countless amount of YouTube videos on all these investment gurus, on the likes of Pape, who has written the Barefoot Investor, to Ramit Sethi that's based in the United States. After reading his book and realizing the similarities with Scott Pape's book, I'm like, you know what? This is the strategy I'm going to be taking. And also watching, listening to the likes of Equity Mates here in Australia, to Brandon's channel, which is Aussie Wealth Creation. I said long-term investing is something for me. So I'm going to be taking a long-term approach where I'm going to be looking at ETFs. I'm going to be looking at robo-advisors because I do not have the time to pick particular stocks to invest in. Maybe that's going to be part of my strategy because, as you know, strategies chop and change and the best strategies are agile. But for now, my views are taking the long term, therefore going down the ETF route, dollar cost averaging my way through this entire journey and compounding interest. So those are the three things I'm going to be doing from short term to mid term to long term. And each of these strategies or each of these phases have got multiple components to it. So to give you a quick rundown of what I've just talked about, in the short term, look for a full-time job, get into freelancing, aggressively cut down my expenses. In the midterm, I'm going to be looking at continuing this YouTube channel. I'm also going to be starting an e-commerce platform, getting into affiliate marketing, and the long term, invest. So a little bit about me. Wait, hang on a second. Sam, you're meant to include this part of the video at the introduction, not at the end. It's all right. Why not switch things up a little bit? So as I've said, a little bit about me. My name is Sam. I've lived in 5 cities in the last 10 years, and 3 of those were in Australia. I started living in Australia in 2009 in Adelaide, pursuing my undergrad, and I've lived there for a couple of years. And then after graduating, I promptly returned to my motherland, which is Malaysia, the best foods in the world. That's right, you heard that right. The best foods are in Malaysia. So if you love Malaysian food, hit me up on the comment section and tell me what your favorite Malaysian food is and where your favorite spots are in Australia for Malaysian food. I've got to visit those places. And after living in Malaysia, starting my career in Malaysia, I had a fantastic job opportunity in Bangkok, Thailand, where I've lived there for a couple of years. If there was any country to retire, it is, I hate to say this, unfortunately not my home country, but I think Thailand makes for a great retirement country. More of that in videos to come. I met my wife there. I had fantastic friends there. I had a fantastic career in Bangkok, Thailand. But after living in Bangkok, Thailand, I then made the tough decision to return to Australia and started my journey in Melbourne, where the weather is absolutely dreary. It's consistently raining. There's 4 seasons in one day. So to all you Melburnians out there and any migrant living in Melbourne, I definitely empathize with you. And after living in Melbourne for a year, I then promptly moved to Sydney, Australia, which is where I'm residing right now. And the weather is absolutely amazing because it's consistent, it's predictable. That's what weather should be like. That's why you have weather forecasts. And I came to Sydney for an amazing job opportunity. Maybe not so amazing anymore because I've been made redundant. But yeah, so I know what it's like to start a new life as a migrant in Australia 3 times across 3 different cities. So I think that gives me some form of credibility on talking about what it's like starting out as a migrant. So if you're a migrant like me and you want to watch and learn from someone else and let him do all the mistakes, let me do all the mistakes and say, all right, so this is how a migrant could potentially get on this journey called FIRE, being financially independent, retiring early. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, because it's going to do the algorithm a whole lot of good in getting this video to other migrants that can benefit from this channel. So I'm going to be sharing lots of tips and tricks, all the mistakes I've made in the past when it comes to purchasing big ticket items, or how I can potentially maximize my chance of being gainfully employed, being a full-time employee. And yeah, so that is a little bit about me. And also, fun fact, this accent is acquired. This is not the accent I grew up with. I grew up speaking a whole lot of different languages. In fact, I grew up speaking 3 languages: Malay, English, and Mandarin. And if I were to choose one language that represents me, it's actually Manglish. And it's basically thinking in Mandarin or thinking Malay and then using English words to communicate those sentences. I can't think of a specific sentence right now, but when I do, it'll be in the next video. Signing out. That's all from me for today.